We were listening to her comments from another vault. And of course, as a psychologist, you have very mixed thoughts about that. There is somebody who's clearly in some level of distress. She wasn't quite certain about what was happening, whether it was her imagination or whether it really was a ghost.
Oh my God. Okay, I can definitely hear somebody here, and I'm not enjoying it. I'm really, really not enjoying it. The sound of somebody breathing. And I was scared and I was worried, thinking, is it going to come towards me? Is it coming over here? If it knows that I'm here, does it want to get closer to me? Do you have a total sense of being watched or something?
I think we could have taken any one of our participants and anyone would have that type of experience. So what we're looking at here, in my opinion, is an absolutely fascinating area of psychology, that our imagination plays tricks on us. And under some circumstances, those tricks can really be quite extreme.
So what do you do if you've had this experience? You're essentially by yourself. And so I slept with the light on for a few days and wondered, is this thing, if it's in my head, then what if I decide unconsciously that it's in my room?
Sometimes people see what they want to see. In the First World War, everyone heard stories of the Angels of Mons, an army of ghostly archers defending the British during their retreat. Hundreds of soldiers swore they'd seen them. But the story was complete fiction, written by a journalist before the retreat. Although he explained what he had done, reports of sightings of the Guardians in the sky kept coming in. For the soldiers engulfed in the inhuman horrors of the trenches, the angels were real. They believed what they needed to believe in order to survive. The influence of magnetic fields, the vibrations of infrasound, the power of darkness and the human imagination. It seems science could be catching up with ghosts. But scientific explanations can't change what people want to be true. And ghosts bring us mixed messages. If they can return from the grave, perhaps we can all defy death. There are still cases where rational science seems to have no answer. In 1971, the remote Spanish village of Belmez became home to a truly extraordinary phenomenon. It's a mystery that followed Maria Gomez for over 3 decades.
I was cooking one day when I saw the face on the floor. But I didn't give it any attention. I had a fever then, and thought that must have been the reason why I saw this strange face. I didn't take it seriously at all.
But it wasn't Maria's fever. A few days later, the face returned.
Wherever you stood, the face watched you. It almost seemed like it was moving its eyes.
Alerted by the press, visitors and scientists swarmed in from around the globe. investigations discovered that Maria's house was built on a graveyard, and directly beneath the image of the face, human remains were discovered. The floor was replaced, and even more faces appeared. Nobody could find an explanation.
Even the scientific researchers were here from Madrid. For 10 days they searched here with their tools and equipment and tried to find something. Before they left, I asked them if they could tell me what they had discovered. They told me, "No one can discover the truth here. We will die and never find out what it is." I don't know what this thing is. It's truly something amazing.
The faces were varied, some faint, some clear. And some looking very familiar. What or who was producing them? Neighbors mentioned a young man living in the village who was a skilled artist, but no connection was ever discovered. Pedro Sogrob is a parapsychologist investigating the case. At the time of his research, he was convinced of the link between the woman and the phenomena.
We know that the faces can't appear without Maria, and we know that once Maria leaves the house, the faces fade. We also know that when Maria's psychological state is weak, if she's feeling down or tired, then the faces lose intensity.
Just like photographs, the faces go through a slow developing process. Yet no traces of chemicals or dyes had been found.
Only God knows why the faces appeared to me. Because how many other houses have the same concrete as mine, yet this hasn't happened anywhere else? Only here, in this house.
Sabemos perfectamente que las caras no se forman sin María.
The faces usually go through a weird transformation process, like a molecular formation of the dark particles in the concrete. First they form lines, and then reshape into faces.
Maria Gomez died in February 2004, aged 85. Her belief in her faces never wavered. Just before her death, she said,
"I would like them to come with me. After all, they have given me so much company throughout my life. So I would like them to keep me company in the next world. So people can see that it wasn't fraud, that what happened here is real."
With her death, the faces were expected to disappear. They did something far stranger. They resurfaced in a nearby house where Maria was born. A final twist to her own ghost story.
If poltergeists and spirits and ghosts are genuine, if they really exist, they are going to revolutionize how we see the world. Hundreds of years of scientific thought will simply be wrong. So before we make that decision, before there's a revolution within science, we better have the right evidence.